Everyone has a story to tell. It's a sentiment so obvious that it almost sounds cliché. But having been a therapist for more than 30 years, working with everyone from major celebrities and athletes to successful business titans, I know that the stories people tell other people about themselves are not the most important ones. People have come into my offices in Los Angeles and London and told me the most extraordinary stories over the years. They've told me how they ruined their lives with addiction, how they just can't stop shopping even though their credit card debt is crippling, how they have everything they've ever dreamed of having, and yet they are still miserable. They've told me how they are incapable of not ruining relationships through infidelity, how heartbroken they are that it seems impossible for them to have a baby, or how their rigid obsessive-compulsive disorder is ruining their ability to have friendships or relationships with anyone. To these clients, these stories feel true. In fact, they don't even feel like stories, they are just plain reality. However, if we were being a little blunter, we might say that the stories people tell about themselves are actually lies, or at the very least, they are simply one version of events. We begin to change our lives when we realize that the stories we tell ourselves can change too. That's the thing about stories. They are not fixed entities. While there are certain facts that remain unchanged, the way we frame those facts can change over time. Just ask any tabloid journalist. Man enters house may be a fact, but if you attach a motivation for why the man entered the house, surmise what he was thinking while he did it, and even speculate about what he did after he left the house, then you have a story, and often in the tabloids a highly contestable one. We learn these stories throughout our lives. However, the ones we learn as small children tend to root down deeply into our psyche. At the root of these stories are fundamental beliefs about who we are and what we are capable of, and unfortunately, we can develop these beliefs through adverse experiences or our parents' or caretakers' unresolved traumas and issues. One of those core beliefs that I see over and over is that a child believes they are not lovable and not enough. When that destructive belief takes root, that child will take it with them, often unknowingly, into every single interaction and relationship for the rest of their life. That unmet need to feel lovable and enough will color the rest of their life if it's not eventually resolved. It is these fundamental beliefs that morph into stories and eventually lies people tell themselves. Someone may walk into my office and say, every single time a relationship I'm in gets serious, the person leaves after just under 1 year. I make such horrible decisions about partners, I'll always be alone. The belief at the core of that story may be, my father left me and my mother when I was an infant, so I'm obviously not lovable. Another story might sound like, I'm addicted to cookies and sugar, and I am absolutely powerless to stop eating them, even though they are ruining my life. I may find through RTT that the belief at the source of that is, I was sexually abused as a child, and I have to keep myself safe by being big. Those beliefs are so powerful, yet people walk throughout life not even knowing they have them. You'll hear me say this several times throughout this book. No one has a perfect childhood. However, some people are lucky enough to get by with an okay enough story. They fundamentally feel a sense of belonging and safety that allows them to move through life productively, if not with some bumps in the road. But other people inherit stories about themselves that deeply harm their ability to live functional, healthy lives with meaningful relationships with themselves and others. They may try all kinds of things, shopping, alcohol, work, sex, money, etc., to drown out the painful truth of their story, that they are not enough. Not good enough, smart enough, attractive enough, interesting enough, worthy enough. That they are not lovable, that they don't deserve to be happy, that they are not safe, that their needs will never be met because they are unworthy. But as you may have gathered by now, none of those methods actually work. They only prolong one of two inevitable outcomes: transformation or destruction.